From Darkness to Light, a nurse's Reiki journey. I am so honored to bring to you today Sarah's story on how a turn of events led her to discovering Reiki and deeply healing. And she is now trained in holy fire. She is a powerful healer. And she is also one of our founding healers inside of our Quantum Illumination Reiki Certification program. Hey, Sarah, if you want to just request to join and we'll get you on. Okay, there we go. So great to see you.
Yes. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, okay, so I was just sharing just a tiny bit about you, but oh my God, when we first connected in the DMs, I was like, we're like immediately we're like managing open head, like we're taking in all the information. We're like, you were just like an immediate, yes, we just had such a fun connection. I've been watching like Sarah has entered a new era recently too. So I'm excited all the things. So yeah, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, where you're from, whatever you're feeling called to share.
All right. Well, I will start by saying that I've literally lived in the same general area my whole entire life. I've never moved away. I'm married to my high school sweetheart. We actually will be together for a total of 25 years on the 25th. We started dating him. I was very young. So, uh, a couple of kids, we have a dog, all of that. But let's see. I have to think back. It kind of scares me sometimes to say I've been a nurse for 17, going on 18 years, which seems really crazy because I can think back to when I graduated nursing school and I'm like, wait, that was yesterday.
I mean, yeah.
How are we
Um,
here?
I know. My son likes to remind me that we're closer to 2030 than we are to 2020. And I'm like, no, this is impossible. I was just in the club yesterday.
Yeah, no, don't do that. No, we're not. So, but yeah, been in a lot of different nursing fields. Currently, I'm working for a fertility practice. I work from home, which is great, but I actually discovered Reiki back in, I'll say 20, maybe 2014, 2015. I was working for a hematology oncology practice and they offered that service at a different facility. We had a separate alternative therapy building where they did all sorts of stuff like acupuncture, Reiki, massage, things like that. So I'd heard about it. I didn't really dive in to know what it was for several years after that, but things I would say started turning, 2015. I was still working for hematology oncology practice, and at the time, my cousin, who I was very close to, he was kind of more like a brother to me. He had passed away. He had a brain tumor, and so it hit really close to home. Like I was used to dealing with oncology patients, as a nurse, and they're my patient, and that was hard enough, but then it really hit home and I was like, "Oh, okay, well this is really hard for me." That actually kind of pulled me away from that field. Went as primary care after that. But it was I always had this remembrance in the back of my mind, so to speak, about Reiki, and I was just like, "Oh, just felt called to it, but still never really dove in." Um, and then primary care, it was just really busy, a lot of all sorts of different things. And I found myself kind of working a little bit later than normal. So I was home late. And at the time, my daughter was, gosh, 5, around 5, and my son was like 1.5, maybe. So now we're into like 2017. And I will remember this day forever. I was upstairs in our bedroom, mine and my husband's bedroom, watching Moana with my daughter. And my husband had been downstairs with the baby. And at the time, he was talking about going out with his dad and one of our friends. So we live in the country, and one of our friends was having issues with beavers. So they were going to like humanely trap beavers and, take care of them. And he was getting ready to go, and I heard him like getting ready, and I came downstairs, and I don't really know what came over me, but all of a sudden I literally just like I lost it.
Mhm.
I started crying and I was like, I can't do this. I felt just like I was so deep in the routine of just like wake up, go to work, take care of the kids, make dinner, and then just repeat over and over. I wasn't doing anything for myself, really. I thought I was at the time. And I just, to me, it just felt like he had all the freedom in the world still because he'd be like, oh, well, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go
Mhm.
do that. And I just broke down one day and I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm not doing anything for myself. I feel like I'm just always here. Like, I'm not getting out of the house. I'm not doing things that I enjoy. Like, to say, obviously, enjoyed being a mom and all of that. But
Yeah, of course.
the one thing he said to me, and it wasn't like a hurt, that there wasn't any like malice behind what he said, but I had been going on. I'm like, we have two kids now, and Ricky's still a baby, and it's really hard for me because at the time, like my daughter obviously was sort of independent, but not really. She's
Yeah.
still little. So
Mhm.
I said, like, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And he looked at me and he was like, but this is what you wanted. Meaning like, the marriage, the house, the job, the kids. And I was like, yes, it is what I wanted, but like not like this, you and that phrase really just kind of struck a chord in me. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, okay, yes, this is what I wanted, but like not like this. So now what?
Mm.
What do I do now to make this different, to change things, to do something for myself? And it was really hard at first to like get out of that whole pattern of just autopilot. Uh, uh, so can't even tell you, it just kind of dropped in. It was like Reiki. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, let's see about having a Reiki session. And at
Mhm.
the time, I was like, "Oh," but the only place I knew of was like almost 40 minutes away. And I was like, I just don't really want to go that far. And come to find out, this whole time, like for years, there was this facility near me. It's called Infinite Light. And every time I drove by, I was like, I just thought it was a yoga studio. Like
Mhm.
for years, this place was less than 10 minutes from my home.
Oh.
And I'm like, it's just a yoga studio. And I finally Googled, I must have Googled like Reiki near me or something. And it popped up and I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Whole
Ah,
time.
it was right here.
Literally.
Yeah. I was like, oh, all right. Well, that makes it super easy then. So I went and had my first session and immediately I was like, okay, like the whole world needs to know about this. Like I need to be trained. I need to tell people about this. And it was like 2 months later, I got my level one.
Ugh. Oh my gosh. That is like, isn't it so funny? It's literally like right in front of your nose the entire time. And it's
Yeah.
like when you look back on your journey, you're like, these little drops were there literally all along, and I didn't even see them. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, they were meant to be like these little things along the way, but whoa. So you are also trained in Holy Fire, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, okay. And then what else, like from when you decided to get trained in Holy Fire, like how has it changed for you since then?
So that's, it's hard to describe. So I felt like my first couple of levels of Reiki. It was incredible, obviously. And then I got trained like holy fire, and it's just different. It was like felt it just felt different. Whereas at first, when I was first trained, it kind of felt like, okay, I have to like turn on Reiki. I have to like intentionally think about it, turn it on. And then it was like holy fire. It was just kind of like, oh, I think about it like boom. It's just like holy fire and it's there. It's not a process of turning it off and on. It's just almost like becoming more aware of it. Like though it's
Mhm.
there, it's just amplifying the awareness when I want it or when I need it instead of having to kind of intentionally be like, "Okay, well, let's turn it on now," and then, "Oh, let's turn it off." It's not always there.
Yeah. Isn't it so interesting where because I've been talking about this a lot too, like Usui, I mean, it's beautiful, right? And also there's just like that soul knowing that it's just like, but what if it was different? Like, what if it didn't have to be so on and off? What if I didn't have to channel it? What if there wasn't a door between you and I could just send the Reiki by thinking about you? Like, it doesn't have to be. And like the other day I saw in our community in Quantum Illumination, you were like, I sent a situation, a specific emotion healing from the quantum field. And I was like, yes, that. Like,
Yeah.
it's so much more expansive than what the 3D has placed on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I,
agree. I actually love doing that. I so that was kind of like a newer thing since we did our first training, but like before, like I don't want to say always because I don't always remember to do it, but there's
Mhm.
occasions where like I'll send Reiki to a past situation or the future, and then we had our first live and I was like, "Oh, well, how about I send like some love to this instead of like not just Reiki, but
Right.
let's send some love to this situation that already happened and just kind of like encompass it in that." And so I was like, "Oh, that's fun. Let's do that more."
Yeah. What did you notice after?
Just like I just felt lighter
Mm.
because I still like, there was still like almost like some murkiness around the experience that I sent it to. And then after I kind of just sat with it, held space, sent love to the experience, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, like that's gone. Like that heaviness that I felt is gone. And it was almost like before something that like that would kind of I don't say it bother me all day, but it would kind of like linger and I
Mhm.
would just kind of keep thinking about it like, I wish that didn't happen or I wish I would have said something different or, maybe it could have been a different way. But then after I just, sent love to it, I was just kind of like, okay, like sent love, we're done and like let's move on.
Oh, good. It's literally like you giving yourself your power back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, how has I don't really want to use the word transition, but like you're literally bridging the gap between like science and spirituality and bringing the two together, being a nurse for how, yeah, did you say 17 years? It's so weird to me. I'm like, how is that even possible?
Oh no.
My brain did. So, have you found like a conjunction in bridging like nursing and the medical field with Reiki? Are you able to bring those together? Has it shifted your perspective? Like, what has that experience been for you?
I would say like there are definitely some times where it's really easy to kind of bring them together. But then there's times too where, there's definitely some resistance. I've had, you know, clients sometimes just kind of be like, are you sure? Like you're a nurse and we're all scientific over here, but now you're coming at me with like all this energetics. And I mean, it's definitely interesting sometimes to, like, bring the 2 together, but, I mean, I think it's kind of playing around and just sharing. experience. Uh, I think that's for me, I don't want to say like the hardest thing, but it's difficult to explain. I don't want to say it's difficult to explain Reiki, but it's like it's something you truly have to experience to
Yeah.
be able to like really know. Because I can
Yeah.
tell you until I'm blue in the face, like you're gonna
Well,
feel lighter and you're gonna feel amazing and you're gonna have clarity and peace and calm and like all of the amazing things. But until you like feel it yourself, it's kind of just like, oh, well, that's nice.
yeah. Yeah. I was telling Erica the other day that I had felt called to ask my husband's in the military. Like, I mean, you can't get much more than like, this is how it is, right?
Hmm.
And he was walking away and I was like, "I have a question. When people ask you what it is that I do, what do you say? Do you actually tell them? Like, do you actually tell them what I do?" And he's like, "Yeah, I fully tell them what you do." And I'm like, "What's the look that you get?" I'm curious. And it's the same look that I get. And it's literally so funny. It gets from a point where it's like, "Oh, let me go into the shell," like, "Oh, actually let me own it. And it's okay if you get like uncomfortable in your seat." I love that. I'm sure it's like a little bit of the same in the medical field too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so you're doing Reiki inside of your business and you're offering sessions. Do you have anything else that you're working on? I mean, the first time I heard your voice, I was like, please tell me you're creating a meditation series. I love your voice. I'm like, literally, let me just put you in my ears.
Yeah. So I always kind of laugh because I've had multiple people more recently tell me like, "Oh my gosh, I love your voice." And it's definitely changed over time, like the tone of my voice for sure. And I definitely think a lot of that to do with Reiki, like the healing work that I've done in energetics for sure. But I used to hate my voice. I used to
I
hate
love it.
Oh yeah. And just and I know everyone kind of has a degree of like, "Oh, I hate hearing myself talk," but I would, like, hear it and be like, "Oh god, my voice." But it's almost like there's also another level of where when I really tune in, I almost, like, turn it on a little bit differently than my normal speaking voice, and I actually have recently started I have some recordings that I've worked on, working on trying to figure out how I wanna do this. Um, you know, all of the ideas going off in
Danny
different
Jen vibe.
ways all the time, yes.
All the time. Yes.
So, well, I'm coming up with this. It's just 3-day energetic like reset and just different things like quick short meditations
Mhm.
because, you know, I'm a mom, I work full time. I know everyone don't have time to always just sit down and do like a 20-minute meditation, which when you can, amazing. But yeah, so it's a series of like, let's see, I've recorded it so many times. Um, quick 5-minute meditations, like a couple activations, like journal prompts, things like that. So I'm definitely working on that, and I'm definitely wanting to get more, um, just private podcast feed things out.
Ah, so good. I can just see that being so good for the people like that are meant to be in your community because your voice, like even your energy, like you have a really soothing energy. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I love the private podcast feed ideas. So much fun to be able to. And PS, if you need some tips on that, just like let me know because yeah, it's so much fun to be able to like record and play around with different like royalty free music and things like that, infusing it with your own Reiki and oh,
Yeah,
so good. Yeah,
yeah.
amazing. I love this. Um, okay, so I like I was sitting thinking about last night when I was thinking about our live, I was like reflecting back on when we first connected. How did you even like how did we even connect? I don't even remember. Was it through a reel?
I think it was. I'm trying to think back now too because I know you're in Andrea's world.
Mhm.
Now, if you are you in Legends?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Oh,
The sweatshirt. I
yeah.
well actually no, but
I'm
I
actually wearing this
looked
sweatshirt
for
today. Well, the
it.
pink one anyway. I have the black one.
I have the one. Um, I don't know if I saw like something in Voxer or if it was a reel. It was definitely something. And then I was like, oh, like you're in Andrea's world too. And then I was like, oh, RTT or RRT. Oh my God, I've tried all the words. It's
You
Manny
I'm
dead.
like, oh,
But yes, I was like, oh my God, like you do RTT too. And I think that's amazing. RRT. Why do I keep doing that? Anyhow, but yeah, I was like, amazing. So yeah, it just kind of like blossomed from there. And we just kept talking and I was like, I'm a manager. And you're like, me too. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah,
so good.
just
I
one
love it.
of those things where, energetically, like I will say I haven't really had a lot of almost like immediate connections, like here and there, but it's just like it's always so amazing when it happens because you're like, "Oh, it's just this natural like, hey, I already know you." Like, well,
It's like literal soul connection. It's like, oh, okay, we've done this before.
yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Um, so what about quantum illumination was it that you were like, yeah, I'm in? Because for you, it was like, yeah, like you very much trust your human design and the way in which you're making decisions. And I think that's so amazing. And so for you, what was that for you? I don't know why I said that. It's Mercury retrograde. We're just rolling with whatever comes.
It is. That's why I can't speak. So we're just gonna go with that too. I just it was just a knowing. Like there was something about I read Quantum Illumination and it was just like, yes. Like sacral on fire, totally like, yep. Like, and that was it. It was just like the feeling that I had. It was like, that's your next step. Like, you need to do this. And I was like, all right, here we go. Like, sign me up.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that so much. Okay. For anybody that is familiar with human design, I'm not an expert. I just know I'm a mini gen, like, and I just like tap into wherever it is. But like, how has that journey been for you and like really anchoring in and making those decisions based on what you know is like most aligned for you?
So that's definitely been interesting. I'm still really learning. I've known just like the basics for a while, right? 1-3 Manujan, sacral authority. But it's taken some time to really kind of trust that because it's not logical. You know,
Yeah. Mhm. Oh,
you get that sacral yes, and you're like, really?
yeah.
You sure? And I mean, there's definitely been some like I don't believe in wrong decisions, but like not following my sacral, and so I'm still learning. It's still, it still comes up every now and then, but it's fun to kind of, play around with and see, and it's just really that trust, and that trust piece of like, okay, I'm just gonna continue to really tune in to what my yes and no feels like and honor that even if it feels a little scary sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I love this so much because I think, well, I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that we answer. And I love knowing this about people. I think it's so fascinating because there are people that I know their human design and I know the way that they make decisions. I'm like, here you go. I'll talk to you in a week. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
And then there's those of us that are sacral authorities and they're like, or it's a visceral nope. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's
Was
times like when you shared, and I can't even tell you like what the exact post was that you shared, but it was like I didn't even have to read about what it was. I wasn't like, oh, let me just read this and find out what it is and what it's about. It was just like Quantum Illumination Reiki, and I was like, yeah. So
so awesome. I love that because I make decisions. I mean, that's me too. I remember my current mentor. I've been with her for um going on 2 years now, and I've been in Andrea's role forever too. Like I'm like lifer. I'm not going anywhere.
exactly.
But it's funny, right? When it's like I'm like hanging on to every word, and I'm like, I don't know who this person is, but soul, I know you. I'm whatever it is, I'm in. I don't even need the information. Just tell me what I need to do. I'll take my money. I'm in.
Mhm.
Was there any kind of like imposter syndrome or anything that creeped in around around quantum illumination or I mean for you making the decision it was very sacral for you, but like after you made the decision or even going into this, because now we've had our first lesson, we've learned the foundation. So yeah. And then if so, how did you work through it?
So I'll tell you, I still actually deal with imposter syndrome just with what I'm currently doing now. Um, I, I've had conversations with this about people just in the past couple of days recently.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like it feels like it's kind of something that's always in the background that I'm just continually having to work through. And some days it's really hard. Some days it really gets the best of me. And I'm just like, you know what? All right. Like, I'm just going to be a muggle for today. And like, we're not doing anything because the imposter syndrome is real. And if I try to fight it, it's a downhill battle. So I know there's days that are still really kind of a struggle sometimes, but I have all the tools to work through that. I would say I haven't felt anything like that with quantum illumination, and I don't know. I feel it's like I feel solid in my Reiki practice, like for myself. It's more the imposter syndrome comes in when I'm like trying to offer it because there's times where I'm like, well, who am I to say like I'm gonna help you with X, Y, and Z when sometimes, my life doesn't really look or feel all that great. Like, how am I gonna share this? But yeah, I haven't really noticed that yet with quantum illumination. I don't think I will. I feel like this is just the next level for me in my Reiki practice, and it's just gonna take me like up and up.
Yeah, imposter syndrome is wild, isn't it?
It is.
Like, no matter it's like, I don't really love the term "new level, new devil." I'm like, it's not I don't know. It's kind of like just this next layer that's like, "Oh, hey, remember? Remember
Yeah.
the thing?"
Mhm.
And she has you got alchemized, right, as our bonus?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Go into imposter syndrome, the Melt Imposter Syndrome Masterclass, Chef's Kiss. That one is one of my favorites personally too. Yes, I go back and listen. I'm a Gemini. I like to hear myself talk. You want to listen to your own programs? I'm like, yes, why not? Anyway, so it's like, yeah, it's even, it's like you could be doing something for years and it's not that, it just goes away because you are putting yourself out there, but over time it does get easier and better. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It just gets quieter.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Um, I mean, of course, we're not into the first key yet. That will come next week. What have you noticed is different between quantum illumination and other styles that you have experienced or that you're trained in so far?
Uh, I almost feel like this feels lighter, so to speak. Not like the others feel heavy or dense, but it almost just feels like all I can say is like illumination like fits. It
Mhm.
just feels like this like shining light, and it just almost feels lighter is the only thing coming to word, but it's not really how I want to describe it. Like, I don't even know, like more sparkly and just like, I don't know, I can't find the word that I want, but it's definitely different. I can feel it's a different energy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I always like to say it's like really soothing to the nervous system.
Yeah,
Like we're going
for sure.
deep, we're playing, but it's not like I love this analogy, and this comes up all the time. It's not like sometimes what happens is through that purge, it's like, have you ever been on a wooden roller coaster?
It's just
Yeah. It's that feeling. And we don't get
mm,
that with quantum illumination. I love that. It's
yeah.
sparkly. Whoa. That's so fun. Um, yeah. Okay. So if there was anyone watching like right now or on the replay and they have been thinking about joining quantum illumination, what would you say to them?
I would say. definitely go for it. Uh, even just, I mean, we haven't even started, but I mean, obviously we're dipping our toe in right now, but it just feels already like it's just going to be this incredible, incredible experience and this incredible tool and this incredible healing modality to have and to know and to be able to share. And yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. I loved the first training. It was incredible, just even playing with the energies and to know that like so much more is coming. It's like so exciting.
Yeah, because you're in level 1 and 2. There's most of you guys are in level 1 and 2, which I love. I'm so like, I can, like I'm like, don't even know what to do with myself because you guys are so amazing. I'm like, "What's going on in the community right now?" I have a thing I need Chris, and I will be back in there later because you guys have created such a beautiful community.
Yeah, it's great. That's the other thing too. It's like it definitely feels like such a beautiful space and it's so safe to share and just really feels like wholesome.
Love that. Oh, so good. I'm so excited to share this journey with you. And thank you
Wait.
so much for hopping on, sharing your time. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you're like, I really wanted to share this or I really wanted to talk about this?
I don't think so. I think we covered what needed to be covered.
Yeah, amazing. Any last words of wisdom coming through that you're feeling called to say to anyone?
I guess just really listen listen to your heart, listen to your nudges if you're feeling called to, quantum illumination Reiki, or even if you just had something like in your field that you're feeling called to and it feels exciting and it feels like that would be fun or playful, or it just overall feels like it's going to light you up in general. It's like giving you energy, it's giving you life, then like say yes and go for it.
Yeah. So good. I I listened to this podcast. I don't even know how it ended up on my Spotify this morning. It was some dude I've never even heard of. And he said, okay, let me pull it up because I shared it in one of the communities that I'm in because it was so good and this is so relevant. Let's see. Hold on. Go before you're ready. It's
Mm.
like It's like the fear is going to be there and it's going to feel like it, it, it kind of makes you question, is this my next step? Whatever that is, whether it's quantum illumination or starting a business or tapping into your abilities or whatever it is, it's like, but you're thinking about it. So it's like dropped in there for a reason. So go. I think
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
such a lie. So where can people find you? Where is it best that they can be in your world?
Uh, I'm mainly on Instagram and Facebook. I generally just share from Instagram, so I'm mainly on there. So, Facebook is just Sarah Burlingame. Instagram is ReikiMuse.Sarah. And yeah, that's where I spend most of my time. And actually, like, funny. I don't know if it's because we started this. I'm like, I'm getting the pull to just like start over, like brand new. I already changed I got a new Instagram already like months ago. I changed everything. And then I'm like, do I do it again? Am I bringing it
I
all down?
I was just gonna say that feels like a very rising phoenix, and I've seen some of you're like the fire and everything. I was like, yes, this is like rising phoenix in our world as a whole. But
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Okay, amazing. So I will tag, and then if you change like anything, just like we'll redirect to your new ID. Do you have any current like offers or anything that you want to steer people towards?
Um,
Steer? Did I say steal? I think I meant steer.
I'll steal them. Um, well, I mean, so I'll be putting out a link for the 3-day reset.
Amazing.
And I do like I've mainly offered one-off sessions, but I'm getting into creating more of a package.
Yeah.
Just for maybe like 3 months and then a separate 6-month package. So those will be in the works. But yeah, I've got a pen site page on my Instagram with links, so that's there.
Okay. Amazing. Amazing. So I'll put all of your links so people can go find you, hang out with you. And of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to slide into her DMs. Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today and have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You too. This was
Yeah. Bye.
bye.
Amazing. So you guys, I will put this, of course, you guys know this is going on Sacred Whisper as well. So I'll put everything in the description and the show notes, caption, all this. And if you guys are feeling called to join Quantum Illumination Reiki, the doors are still open. At the end of the month, they will close for our founders round. The things that they're already experiencing, we haven't even tapped into the first key yet. They're literally, I am traveling and experiencing like cellular upgrades, and I want to do like buzzing, like cellular upgrades and meeting their higher self and sending situations, specific emotions from within or sensations and healing from within the quantum field. It's so amazing. So if you, when you go ahead and sign up now, you do get access to our first you get immediate access to our first training, our bonus training, and then you'll be able to join us live for our first key. So DM me Quantum. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.